But something that's doing even better than that, I mean, everyone's going nuts about it, is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So I should say Across the Spider-Verse. I always say Into because there's so many Into, Across, Beyond's coming next. But Across the Spider-Verse came out this past weekend, and the numbers are in, and they made 120.5 million in the United States, 208.6 million worldwide opening weekend. And if you look at the first movie that came out, the very first Into the Spider-Verse, it like 35.3 million was how much it made in its opening weekend. So this dominated that. Dominated. At 2 hours and 20 minutes long, a lot of people went out to see this movie. And it has big potential moving forward. It's even bigger than Guardians opening. Guardians, when they opened, they made it was like, I think it was like set 117 million or something like that. So like it made above that. It's doing great. And honestly, it's a spectacular movie to watch in person because in theaters, the animation's cool. We saw it last night. There's a lot that's happening in this. It's exciting. It is insane spider tactics that are happening. But a little bit of it though, I think sometimes it's like you can tell it's a middle movie, you know? There's a Beyond coming. You were in it. You were into it? Into it. It's fun, but you can tell everyone's like, it's like Empire Strikes Back. People were saying, but to me, it just really does feel like it's like I need to get to the next one, you know? Like I'm ready to go to the third one. I'm ready to watch the third one. It doesn't come out for another year or two. And it's like it just feels like a transitional movie. A lot happens. There's a lot of good like story with his family and with Gwen's family, but it becomes more of a Spider-Gwen movie than a him movie at times too. But overall, it is. Yeah, overall though, I didn't mind it. Like I thought it was good. There's a lot of good storylines from the comics they used for Gwen in this. Oscar Isaac's barely in it, but he's a good job being like that brooding kind of Spider-Man. There's a lot of cameos, but nobody you would think
is in it a bit. Oscar Isaac,
yeah, but
he's in it a bit,
but not as much as I thought he was going to be in it, you know. But overall, it's doing great. The numbers looking great. If it has that staying power, maybe it will. I don't think it's going to beat Mario, but it's still going to do well, I think. You know, because Mario is still kicking ass with Peaches.
Stop it.
Doing great over there, you know.
No.
But I think it was pretty good. Sabrina, you saw this. What do you think about Across the Spider-Verse and how well it's doing? Does it make sense to you that it's doing so well?
I mean, the first one is one of my favorite superhero movies of all time. I love it. I love the animation style. I think it's amazing. I did not love this one as much as I love the first one. I don't want to trash talk it at all. It's still amazingly visually. I think there's just too many characters. Like it's hard to keep track of what the fuck is going on. At certain points, like you feel like you're rolling in a certain direction, and then like all of a sudden you're off in another direction, and like and I don't know. There's a lot going on. And there's a lot of different Spider-Mans. Like, like the first one, there was like just a little group of Spider-Mans and like we knew who everyone was. And there was like a bunch of villains and like it was a very clear path to victory. Like this was kind of all over the place. So I didn't not like it, but I definitely didn't like it as much as I liked the first one. I will absolutely see the next one 100%. And I'm looking forward to it, but maybe I need to watch it again, but there was just a lot going on and a lot of characters to try to keep track of. It was a lot. It was like a lot of work for being in a movie. You know what I mean?
Need a little notepad.
Yeah, I was like, oh, who the fuck is this now? Oh, wait, that's okay. Wait, okay, he's doing. Oh, wait, what about this one? Like, there was just a lot.
It's like a sensory overload, though. It really is. There's a lot happening in this, and the animation style is so bombastic and it's big. It's charged.
I will say this though, his mom. I'm gonna gay it up right now. His mom is super fucking hot. She's so hot, I can't even take it. The cartoon version of his mom, who is played by LaGuardia from Dexter. Which kind of when I realized it was her, I was like, oh no, I can't be attracted to you anymore. But she was super hot. The mom is super hot.
Yeah, so, the animation was great for her.
Shout out to Miles Morales' mom, super hot.
These animated movies make these moms unreasonably hot.
Dude, she's ridiculous. I've never been attracted to a cartoon so much. I literally I said 15 times how hot she was. Brian was like, "We get it. You like her.
We get it. You think she's hot. We get it. I understand now. I understand." And it's like every time she come on screen, she'd be like, "Oh, Miles' mom." I'm like,
she was
calm
so
down.
hot.
Calm down.
The movie could not have been that great if all I was doing was lusting over Miles' mother when she was on screen. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. It's good. It's just not.
Yeah.
I had a lot of expectations for the first one. Like, and so it just didn't live up to that for me personally. Everyone else that I know that's seen it, they love it. Like, no one has any complaints. I don't know if my expectations were too high or what. It just seemed like it just seemed like a lot of work, you know. But it's beautiful, visually stunning.
Yeah, it really is. Rachel, what do you think? Do you think this movie's going to do this well? Do you think that it's going to keep going? Do you think it has the power based off of what you've heard about it, or do you think that something like this is destined to have like a big blowout weekend and then that's it?
I think it'll have a few big weekends. I definitely think it's going to have really good numbers for sure for the first few weeks. I think it won't necessarily be the sleeper hit that the first one was, because kind of no one expected the first one to do as well as it did. And it's really hard to live up to that expectation. But I think it's gonna make a ton of money, and I think they're gonna make another 5 of them. And I'm really excited what this will lead to for animation in general, because animation is generally not a medium that people take too seriously with film. So I'm really hoping that we see more evolution in the animation space to make more mature animations.
The style's so cool, Rachel, too. It's like there are times where it feels like it's like almost like it's painted, and there's times where it feels like it's like CG, and there's times where it feels like it's its own new world. It's the animation style changes between multiverses. It's
literally like watching a comic book, pretty much.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, like it's so cool.
A whole new world.
And on top of it, you know that when they actually bought this, when Sony bought the rights to Spider-Man back in like '93 or something like that, they only spent like $7 million for it. And
did it beat The Little Mermaid for opening this weekend?
It did. It did.
Nice.
100% it did. It made more than Little Mermaid's opening.
Not that I want Little Mermaid to fail. I'm just like, that's impressive. That's impressive to beat a Disney.
Well, the thing is, Little Mermaid, I don't think it's going to do as well as they expected it to do either. It really hasn't. It's kind of been going underneath. It will make its money back, but I've also been reading some things where it might just break even. I've had some people actually commenting online, looking at some statistics saying that it might just fall from breaking even. I don't know, but as of right now, it's not the big blockbuster.
Probably pretty high though. That didn't look like a cheap movie to make.
$250 million budget. On top of that, like $150 million marketing. You know, you're looking at a lot of money right now. So to make that back, it's tough. That's why when they did Avatar, they said they'd make $1 billion to break even, which was pretty much true. They spent like $500 million just on production, you know, and that's only on one of the movies. They're doing 2 movies back to back. I mean, it's a lot of money that put into these productions these days.
James Cameron.
Fucking James Cameron. Chris, do you think this has staying power? Do you think that Into the Spider-Verse, or I should say Across the Spider-Verse, will actually make all the money they expect it to, or do you think that it will fizzle out next weekend and it won't do as well as they hope it to?
Well, what's coming up next weekend?
Oh, that's a good question. I think Transformers. It's Transformers, or is it Flash? This weekend is not Flash. Next weekend's Flash.
Oh yeah. Oh, so two weeks before Flash.
I think Transformers might be out this coming weekend.
There's a new Transformers?
Yeah, Rise of the Beasts.
I'm just kidding.
We talked about it.
I know, that's why I said I'm kidding.
Yeah, I'd probably stay, number 1 next week. And then Transformers will
knock it out.
And knock it out.
I don't know about that.
I feel like
Flash will.
Flash will do some damage to it, I think.
The Flash?
They're only projecting the Flash. They're only projecting to make like $75 million opening weekend. That's what they're projecting it, which isn't great for that movie. Yep, that's the projection right now. Like $75 million. And it was like a $200 million budget movie, too.
Generous expectation for opening weekend.
Yeah.
Well, I mean
there's a lot of controversy.
If you ask Sean, June can come soon enough. Also, Ryan. Like, I feel like there's a lot of people that are really excited about the Flash.
Bat Keaton.
People are excited about Bat Keaton, but I think they'll be willing to wait for streaming.
And it'll probably be on Max before you know it, too. If it doesn't do that well. Just like, it's just been happening. They release these things right across the board, right to the streaming. It's just been happening more and more and more. They used to have that like 90-day window, now like 20 days. Like, why not?
The opening weekend I am the most thrilled about will be Barbie versus Oppenheimer. I just need to see how that pans out.